on from my Total Action diesel cleaner video, which I should put up about there now. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. I'm going to try another additive, which is this one, another product by Wynn, which is the noise and vibration reducer from this very agricultural sounding rattly diesel. So will it improve it? Let's see. So a good way of measuring it is I got myself a noise reader basically. So let's test the ambient sound. I'm going to say it's hovering between 65 and 66. Now, let's try to start it. I'm going to call that 81.2 roughly. So can this additive improve that figure? It's probably going to take more than one bottle, but we shall see. The other fuel additive, that was got results after one bottle, so let's see if this works after one bottle. So next step is I'm going to fill it up with a full tank of decent petrol now, something like Shell Ultra V-Power or something, or BP Ultra, and drive around it for a bit, give it a chance to work, and then I'll come back to you with the figure after one full tank of using the Wynn's noise and vibration reducer. There you go. Let's see. Right, time to fill up. For the decent stuff. Alright, so in with the additive. Right.
Meanwhile,
so if you're like me and sort of inquisitive as to how things work, I wondered how this would actually reduce the noise of a old diesel engine. So I'm going to put a more detailed post in the community section for you to read and summarize it a little bit here. So basically, it cleans deposits in the fuel system in the combustion chamber, so very similar to this one, I guess, which is the Total Action diesel cleaner. It improves lubrication of the fuel system and components. Enhances combustion efficiency, reducing knocking and vibration. So this is where the noise reduction element comes into it, reducing reducing knocking, and diesel engines are knock a lot. Removes water, which can cause noise and incomplete combustion, like a clean burn. And while car engines can cope with water in fuel, my father had a 90 horsepower Suzuki outboard engine for a boat, and we filled up at a garage, which was contaminated. The fuel was contaminated with water. Obviously, it's penetrated the tanks. And after a complaint to the garage, he actually dug the forecourt up and replaced the fuel tanks. But that was after the sort of damage was done, and the engine wasn't really running right. It kept stalling, and but anyway, it can be a problem for outboard engines, not so much for car engines, because they can burn it off better, but it can still be a problem. Yeah, so that's in essence what this noise vibration reducer can do. And I'm gonna have to wait probably another 3 weeks to drain the whole tank as I'm driving around, and come back with the results and let's test it. The noise leveler test that you saw earlier, I'm going to redo on the next video, follow-up video to this, because the ambient sound noise would skew the results a little bit, because I live on a busy road, but it's not normally as busy as it was when I filmed it. And the problem was one of the nearby motorways was closed, and it was diverting traffic down around past our house. So that made the road exceptionally noisy compared to what it normally is. So I'm going to redo that part of it again, but it doesn't really matter, because we're looking at the end result, and I'll just take one away from the other and see if there's any improvement. I know it's a very crude way of testing it, but hey, makes a video. Anyway, oh yeah, another thing. So in my fuel additive video, which I put a link up for, the Total Action Cleaner one, I did a very basic and crude diagram of a fuel tank. And in the comments, I seem to upset a few people at the simplicity of it, because I failed to leave off this section, was where you stick your nozzle in and the fuel entered into the tank when you filled up at the petrol tank. And I think I wrongly said the fuel comes in through the delivery section into the pump. Well, technically it doesn't. The fuel does come in through the delivery section, and that's the engine sending unburnt fuel back. So I mean, all cars are slightly different, and I mean that nozzle, it could have been the main going in, but behind the pump. I mean, from this you couldn't really tell from this diagram, but the whole point of this diagram wasn't to show how you fill a tank. It was to show the sediment at the bottom, how it could potentially clog up the filter for your pump, and that's it. That's all I was showing. So for the person or people that were or person that was particularly offended by this diagram, there is your wide bore hole, whatever you call it, going into the tank that your nozzle at the petrol station fills up into. So I hope that clears that up, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I'll try and do better drawings. The other thing is, I'm not sponsored by Wynn's, and you might ask why I picked the Wynn's products. And one of the reasons was the price point. It was, if not one of the cheapest on the shelf. There's lots of other brands other than Wynn's, and they probably work as equally as good. So I'm not biased to Wynn's, and it could be future videos that I try other brands out. But I've used these before, and they've worked really well, as you can see from the other videos. Still, that's the first time I'm using the noise reducer, so let's see if that works, and that's going to be in my next video or later video. So yeah, I just wanted to clear up a few points. sorry, my intention wasn't to mislead anyone or draw rubbish diagrams. It was just to get my point across, rightly or wrongly. And I hope you subscribe, and I try and make genuine videos made by a human being and not AI. And I hope you enjoy them. So yeah, see you in the next video.